I think that I would like validation for my gender identity.
Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button now. And if you're returning, welcome back. I truly do appreciate your continued support on my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So if you are new to my channel, then I'm going to tell you now, I talk a lot about gender identity and gender ideology on my channel because I truly believe that this is something that is causing so much harm, and it is not something that we should be ignoring or pretending is completely benign. If you are not new here, then you know that this is something I talk about a lot. And of course, as a result, I get a lot of comments calling me transphobic and homophobic and all of these things. And I also get people telling me that it's really none of my business how people want to be referred to. It's none of my business if people want to use pronouns that align with the opposite sex, or if they want to use pronouns that are completely made up, or if they want to redefine words in a way that makes them feel better. And ultimately, it does not matter to me how people want to live their lives. But to say that it does not affect me or it doesn't impact anybody else, how someone chooses to identify, is completely false. This is somebody who is about to start a job teaching 4-year-olds. And if that were my child, then I am at home teaching them that there are only two sexes, that there are only men and women. And then they go and spend hours a day with a teacher that is convinced that they don't have an identity at all, or they don't even know how they want to be referred. Right there, you are starting that child, undermining the things that I am teaching them and starting them towards this path of delusion, teaching them that science doesn't matter, that our connection to reality doesn't matter, and that you can pursue something that biologically, scientifically is never going to be possible.
Hi, so I have a small dilemma. I am starting a new job on Monday, and it's a teaching job, so the kids are going to call me either Mr. or Mrs. Jamie. It depends on what I want, but I, as a non-binary being, I don't know what to pick. I feel like Mrs. would be easier for the kids, but Mr. makes me feel better, but I also kind of want to try mix, but I don't know if the kids can do that. And then what do they do when they ask me if I'm a boy or a girl? I'm not.
So it does affect people when you're trying to teach them reality and science at home and ground them in reality, and then they go and spend hours a day with a teacher who has no connection to reality whatsoever and is participating in this redefinition of words and language.
Stop it. Get some help.
And children are so vulnerable. They are so impressionable. If you go in there and spend all day telling them that you are a unicorn, they are going to believe that you are a unicorn. And we cannot be that careless with their growth and development. The seeds that you plant in little children's brains, the ideas that you plant as those seeds, it matters. And we keep being told that these particular seeds, when it comes to gender ideology, are seeds that are going to help this next generation grow into be this more inclusive society who will be more loving and more tolerant and more accepting. And that does not appear to be the case. If you want to know what the seeds that you are planting are going to grow into, just look at what is happening with the older generation, and you can clearly see the path that these little kids are going to be put on. And we keep being told that this particular ideology is just unleashing people's real identity. It's just letting people live how they truly were meant to live, just because we now have a more accepting society that's more open to alternative identities. Basically saying that these kids are coming to these ideas on their own, and that this is completely without influence, and that the books and ideas that are being put in the classroom are just allowing them to live in a way that we wouldn't have allowed them to live otherwise.
It's not true.
But then you have people like this who post videos that say they plan on pushing their trans agenda on kids on TikTok, meaning that anybody that comes across their content on these social media apps, they plan to influence that person to believe that they're part of the LGBTQ community, to believe that they're transgender, to believe that there is something wrong with the body that they were born in. Meaning that that child is not coming to this conclusion about their identity on their own. Do you see how that might be a little bit dangerous to convince a child or a teenager or somebody who is vulnerable in their mental health struggles, to convince them to believe that they are something that they are not. They are going to end up on drugs that are going to permanently alter their body. They could end up potentially on a path to getting a surgery that are going to remove parts of their bodies or change parts of their bodies that they cannot get back. And if they had not been influenced by these people who are admitting to wanting to push this agenda on them, they would have grown up and grown out of these struggles with their body and their mental health perfectly intact.
Hey TikTok, just wanted to let you know that I am pushing my gay agenda on everybody. If I get a chance to talk to your children, I will turn them trans, and I'm also promoting obesity. Have a gay, fat, trans day.
I wonder what books they were read in school and what material they had access to, and if they had a teacher that didn't know if they were a man or a woman or what name to go by in the classroom. You can see the seeds being planted, and you can see what grows out of those seeds.
I think you're onto something.
She's also admitting that she's going to turn kids trans. Not that she's going to help kids that naturally feel that way, that naturally have discomfort in their body. Not that she's going to help them feel better about that or give them a safe space to express that, but she's going to take kids that otherwise would not have had these gender identity issues, and she's going to make sure that they do. And just as another example of what this mindset is doing to people, this was a clip from Billboard Chris. If you have not followed his account on Instagram, on X, I highly recommend it, even though I'm sure he's on Instagram too. But he is this dad from Canada that walks around with these billboards that says children cannot consent to puberty blockers. He does not approach people. He walks around with this sign to start conversations and to get people's input on it. It is about the least aggressive way that you can possibly think of to just start a conversation with people. So there was an incident recently where he just had gone out onto the street to start these conversations, and he said he'd been out there for about 20 seconds when this individual came up completely unprovoked and punched him in the face. But I believe this person ran onto a public city bus, and Billboard Chris followed him onto this bus, not to harm him, but to get this person's image on video cameras, because all of these buses have cameras on them, and to get actual footage of the situation as much as he could, so that if he decided to pursue charges or to notify the local police about this, that he had some kind of video footage of it happening.
Hey, so this person here just ran on the street and assaulted me. Let's get you on video, shall we? Why are you hiding? You should be proud of yourself. You're battling oppression. I'm not going anywhere. Let's see ya.
I said get off me, you shit!
Let's get a look at you. Get off of me.
Help me! Help me!
This person needs to be arrested, that's why.
So do you. You're being an asshole.
Let go of my sign.
Help me!
Let go of my sign.
This person is screaming at Chris to get off of him while he is pulling on his billboards, pulling him towards him. And honestly, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl because you never see their face. I think towards the end when you can kind of hear them crying, I'm going to say that I believe it's a male. But this is not somebody who is mentally stable. And you're looking at this sign, and I'm sure you can see that this is in a very liberal area. There are a lot of people still wearing masks. So I'm sure that there are a lot of people on that bus that do not agree with the things that are on his sign. But everybody else seems to be able to handle what is being said, even though they disagree with it, except for the person that is the most immersed in this ideology. They truly believe that Chris, just standing there with a sign, is being violent towards him, that he is harming him. And there are people that are getting mad at Chris for defending himself or trying to get this person arrested for assaulting him. And they're getting mad at him because they also believe that he is the one that is in the wrong.
Why?
Out! Get out! Out!
So you're siding with the
Sir.
person who assaults people?
No!
That's what you're
Your
doing?
approach is wrong!
Huh?
Your approach is wrong!
What's my approach? What's wrong with my approach?
Again, Chris is just walking around with a billboard. I truly cannot think of a less aggressive, less confrontational way to talk to people about this particular issue than to just stand outside with a sign and allow people who, of their own free will, are going to come to him to talk to him about it.
I'm not siding with it, but your approach
you
is
are.
wrong!
What's wrong about it?
Look at
Needs
him!
to go and get arrested.
That's how it is? That's how...
If this person is just completely incapacitated and crippled at just seeing words on a sign that they don't agree with, then there is something wrong with what this person has been taught and what they believe and how they have been taught to respond.
Does someone need a hug?
And clearly that they have been taught that anybody that disagrees with them wants to hurt them or harm them.
He's a hate criminal. Look at his sign. He's a hateful criminal. He's wearing a hateful sign. I had a doctor's appointment today and he came in just, I wanted to hit him because they just need to murder me. He had a hateful face on him and he did me.
He came after me.
I know, but I'm sure you did something wrong.
I don't want to do
That's what they call
I
it
wanna
freedom.
die.
They can do whatever they want. If you're not agree, you call the cops.
I'm sorry I hurt
Okay,
people.
okay,
I'm
it's enough.
sorry.
It's enough.
I just want to live my life in safety.
Okay.
Please.
This person is clearly not okay, and Billboard Chris is not the problem. This is what this ideology is doing to people. And not only that, do you notice the number of people around this person that have no right to stand up for themselves? He ran onto the bus and practically threw himself into the lap of this young woman sitting there, which would be absolutely terrifying. But nobody is allowed to say anything because clearly this person identifies with the LGBTQIA community, and therefore they are allowed to do whatever they want, and we cannot say, I do not feel safe around this person, because then they're going to be called transphobic. Again, you have to go back to what is happening when you plant a certain seed in someone's brain. Are they growing into somebody that is happy, healthy, and successful, or are they growing into somebody that is in pain and confused and deluded and angry? So I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. I know that these situations seem really ridiculous, and when you see a clip on Libs of TikTok of somebody dressed like a clown wanting validation for their gender identity, or when you see somebody running and screaming down the road because they can't handle seeing words that they don't like, I know it's easy to laugh and think that these people are insane, but honestly, I don't think that I have ever seen anything that has been so harmful and damaging to people psychologically that I understand why they are so confused and so angry. And I hope that once they actually address the issues that they have absolutely nothing to do with their gender identity, that they do realize that, you know, no one was ever trying to harm them, that we really just wanted you to get back to a healthy space mentally. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.